I'm here today to explain this Nike Tennis Classic Museum Edition, and it's quite a special shoe because we have to explain the concept first, and it's the museum shoe because it's actually supposed to be a shoe, like a retro throwback of now. So the thought of this shoe is actually this shoe, our time actually being in the future, and we are looking back to a shoe that is released in 2012 and how it affected the culture or whatever. I mean, it might not actually affect the culture that much, but it's just the concept of the shoe. So as you can see, the display case is in a beautiful kind of acrylic museum box, and the idea of it is supposed to be like it's being auctioned right now. So this shoe is actually a piece of art. So there's a special knick-knack to this shoe. It's a tier 0 shoe that's going to only be sold at Juices, and 1 out of every 5 will be customized by the CLOT crew. Like, so either myself or some of our other staff have actually followed a certain guideline to customize the shoe in a certain way, and the 1 in 5 shoe will actually be a little bit more special than the other ones. But I mean, I think that the shoe that you can get out of the 4 or 5 chance is actually not bad. So this shoe right here is the one that would be the 4 out of 5, and it comes finished at first by the Nike factories. And you can see right here, all these distress marks are actually from an actual kind of tennis standpoint, tennis point of view, because a tennis player will slide and grind these certain areas of the shoe, which is the first step of the process of the shoe, which is Nike's factories and the creative heads of Nike have completed for us. As you can see on the sole right here, there's already damage and distress and kind of work to it, and like I said, the tennis kind of work to the shoe. So the 4 out of 5 shoe comes in this box, and it actually comes with a piece of charcoal paper. Now this charcoal paper is just charcoal paper. It's quite normal, but it's certified by the CLOT Pro for this Nike Museum Edition shoe. So I'm gonna have to start here and show you how I would personalize these shoes. I mean, there's many ways of what you can do. You can set them on fire, you can paint them, you can do whatever you like to them. Basically, all you will kind of need is this charcoal paper, and you can be a little bit more innovative. We right here have this is used to finish denim, actually, to rock wash the denim. So this kind of gives it an extra kind of element, but I don't expect you guys to all have these rock things at home. So I mean, it's a rock, so you can figure it out. Or you can get a rock and do the same thing. But first off, to customize these shoes, I would suggest that you would take these laces off, because these laces are in the way of things. So I'm going to take these laces off. Alright, so the laces are off now. And if you were following the EDC method, actually I start from the tongue. So usually what I do with the tongue is I take some of this paper and I'll rip off a little bit of it. Of course, every shoe is a different size. I don't know what size of shoe you wear, but I think enough to just kind of fit inside the palm of your hand is good for this stage. So literally, you just have to apply this paper right here, and just basically start to grind it. You can kind of see. So right now it's really shiny and metallic, and I guess Nike finished it exactly the way that we like, and you just start kind of scratching away at it, and you start scratching away at it, and you start seeing the distress. So the distress kind of comes off. You can go really harder and deeper and take more layers of it off, but everyone has their own kind of style of how they want it to look. So I think the one I like is a little bit more half and half. So I choose my spots to really distress the shoe and really make it kind of look old, destroyed, but still kind of new. With this tongue right here, I think that on the sides, to make it look a little bit more distressed and a little bit more old and vintage, you just kind of have to, lightly go on the sides right here. So I think that actually the interesting part is this actual Nike tag right here, and right now it kind of looks a little bit beat up, but to make it kind of look, you just have to put it on and then just drag it off a little bit. So you can have fun with the tongue, you can play different things. it's quite self-explanatory. I think that the next part that I would do on the shoe is actually these sides right here with the eyelets. So what I do is I actually wrap it around the shoe like this. I fold it on the shoe, and then just kind of. This one you gotta push a little harder, but I just kind of go in real deep and start trying to get it to fray. And you know, not only do you have to make it on the sides, you have to make sure that these sides right here also get worn out so that they look. See, as you can see, that it already looks a lot better. It looks more worn and vintage. So you just keep doing this around the whole side. The next step that I would go to is actually trying to fix the sides of the shoes. Now, I would hold the shoe like this and kind of really get into it. But be careful not to get into this Nike swoosh right here. So I guess this is the most kind of tedious part of it, whereas the rest of the shoe you can just go at it and have fun. But this part you kind of have to make sure that your sandpaper doesn't cross the Nike line right here. So what I do is I would actually try to trace the outline of this swoosh first, and then go deeper into the shoe after. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right now is so now you can kind of see the shoe and the difference of the unfinished version, which is this one right here, the side view of the shoe, and the so-called half finished version. So the next part that I would actually go into is this front heel. And the front heel is easy, just go at it and destroy it. So I'm going to go in. So the metallic finish is actually quite key to the design of this shoe because we can distress the shoe without, you know, losing the whole color, and the parts that actually still stay actually seem quite shiny and new. So it's a real kind of tripped out contrast of old and new, kind of retro-y, because, you know, shiny things always seem like they're new and from the future. So what we should start doing is this area right here. This area with the back heel. So this back heel area is the most hardest part to deal with, I think. Besides using the sandpaper, I think you should try to find another object and destroy it a little bit more. But I'm going to show you what I do with this sandpaper. Is get another piece, and basically this area is very hard to deal with. It's very durable. Nike did a very good job of making this part of the shoe. So the suggestions that I have is actually going around the rims of it, and then on the Nike or the CLOT on the shoe ends. So you can go into this Nike thing right here and just go really deep and choose 2 or 3 spots to just go really, you know, rub it, keep sanding it down, and you can start to see that the logo starts to fray a little bit. And for this area right here, I suggest you kind of using a fold like this and going underneath this sew line right here and just really digging it out and finding some spots to make it look a little less new and busting the seams a little bit. So this part actually is my favorite part of going. It's fun, and you can kind of see a good look of what your shoe can look like for yourself. Right here, as you can see on this shoe right here, Nike's already started to do some of the process that we would like them to have, or what the shoe we would like the shoe to look like. So in order to get this kind of effect, basically the same thing as on the sides, just wrap it around it. I think give it a couple kind of scrapes, and see, just with a few scrapes, you can already see that it's already starting to deteriorate and kind of fray. So I like mine really busted and open. So I like to destroy it badly. Other than finishing this side, there's a few key steps that we haven't done yet. Is making these two eyelet sides looking more beat up and vintage. So the thing that we use here is this denim rock wash. And like I said before, I don't think that all of you have this, but you can find rock on the street, and I'm sure you can get the same result. Right now you can see that these eyelet holes are quite shiny and new. Doesn't look used, doesn't look vintage. Suggest you get a rock. Hold this, wash your hands, keep your gloves on, and just scrape the rock on it. Depending on how distressed you want it. As you can see, already the metal is getting scraped, the paint is coming off on the red, and the metallic on the actual shoe right there is actually going to disappear as well. So you can see the difference right now. I mean, a rock and an unrocked one. As you see, this shoe is, it's aesthetically it's nice, there's a message to it, but this is actually more customized and hand detailed. This shoe is the museum shoe, and the CLOT creatives have really kind of thought about this shoe for a long time and has given it 2 levels to it. So there's only one part left in actually customizing and finishing the shoe, and that would only be for the 1 in 5 actual special edition that CLOT has finished. So right now you can have a comparison of the two on an easy look of the differences in the shoe and the way that it actually feels and looks. So you can go deeper, you can go lighter. It's really customizable to your feeling, but usually when you get the 1 in 5 one, there's going to be a special added detail to the shoe. And that will be something that I'm going to take my gloves off for. And it will have a special CLOT tag, the tags that we always use on all of the clothing. It will be placed with some glue, ghetto production style, right on this area of the shoe, approximately, of a CLOT finished museum edition Nike Tennis Classic. Everyone should have fun with the shoe. You can untouch it, you can touch it, you can, like I said, do whatever you want with it. You can set it on fire. I'm gonna get a pair and set them on fire and see what they look like after I finished it. So, have fun, and congratulations to the people that actually got the 1 in 5, because I actually spent a lot of time finishing a lot of shoes as well. So you can check online for the numbers and see what number I am, and see if the one that you got that was finished by me, or who was finished for. Love to the people that support us. Nike Tennis Classic Museum Edition CLOT Juice, February 22nd, 2012. Enjoy.